What's happening guys, it's Abhinav from Phone Bunch and this is a full review of the InFocus Turbo 5 Plus. Now this phone was launched recently, priced at just Rs 8,999. It packs a massive 4850 mAh battery, a 1.5 GHz octa-core processor, 3 gigs of RAM, a 5.5-inch HD display, and it has a fingerprint sensor as well. So that's the InFocus Turbo 5 Plus in gold. I'll keep that aside. Inside the box you get a quick start guide, you also get a free screen guard, always good to see with the new phone, a micro USB data syncing and charging cable, and a 2 amp USB wall charger. And well, you also get a SIM ejector pin. That's pretty much everything that you get inside the box with the Turbo 5 Plus. Now let's have a look at the phone and we'll discuss its pros and cons. So first of all, you have that 5.5-inch display up front, on-screen buttons, and you have that fingerprint sensor at the bottom, which does actually work out quite well. We'll talk about everything in a lot more detail, but first let's talk about the build of the phone. On the left, you have the hybrid SIM card slot, so you can either use 2 SIM cards or 1 SIM card and 1 micro SD card. At the bottom, the single speaker, micro USB port, and the primary microphone. At the top of the phone, you have the 3.5mm audio jack, and on the right, you have the power lock analog button and the volume rocker. Both buttons are quite sturdy, they are made out of metal. Overall, the phone does feel quite sturdy, and at the back you have dual cameras on this phone, a 13 megapixel and a 5 megapixel wide angle camera. Overall, the phone does feel quite sturdy. The phone actually feels quite well built. At the front you have a 5 megapixel camera and you have proximity and light sensors there too, along with a notification LED. And there you see that fingerprint sensor. It actually works quite well. Now this is not just a fingerprint sensor, it's actually a multifunction button. So if you just tap on it, you go back. If you press it, you go to home, and if you double tap it, you get to your multitasking view. So yes, you really don't need those on-screen buttons to use the phone. So navigation can be easily handled with that just one button. Now coming to that display, it has good color reproduction, it's plenty sharp, it is a 720p panel, and if you do go looking, yes, you will see the pixels. It is actually quite bright too. Overall, it is a decent display. Now talking about network and call quality, I didn't have any issues with network reception. You have call recording baked into the dialer as well, and the audio quality through the main earpiece is actually quite decent. The speakerphone does go quite loud, but it is a bit tinny. And then you have all the connectivity options, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi tethering as well. And you get an accelerometer, light and proximity sensor. So yes, the magnetic field sensor and gyroscope are missing on this phone. I don't miss the gyroscope much, but yes, the magnetic field sensor would have come handy, especially for navigation. Now if we talk about that rear camera, so you have actually 2 of them. You have portrait mode available. Just because of that, the portrait mode doesn't actually work that well. I'll show you a few image samples, and then you have those rear cameras. So one of them, the 5 megapixel, is a 120-degree wide angle lens. Sadly, it doesn't have autofocus. But the main camera, that's a 13 megapixel, it does have autofocus and it does take decent images. But it has issues with autofocusing. It hunts for focus quite a lot and colors are a bit oversaturated and a bit colder in tone as well. The color reproduction really isn't that great with either of those 2 rear cameras. Moreover, due to the lack of autofocus on the second camera, well, you do miss out on quite a lot. The second rear camera, the 5 megapixel one, doesn't really capture that great an image. You can see it from right here. Colors look washed out, and well, the images do turn out quite grainy even when there is a lot of light. Even the front facing camera doesn't do a very good job. Well, so the cameras on this phone do need a lot of work. They just aren't that good. With software updates, probably these things can be fixed, but at present, they don't look that good at all. With that, let's talk about software. So the InFocus Turbo 5 Plus is running on Android 7.0 Nougat, not 7.1, but at least it has the August security patch pre-installed. Overall, I didn't find any major issues here. It's almost a stock build of Android 7.0 Nougat. There are a few changes here and there, and of course, the launcher is custom. Now out of the box, you'll get about 25-26 odd gigs of storage out of the 32 gig on the device, and RAM management is actually pretty decent. I generally had about more than 1 gig of RAM free even though I was multitasking with some of the very heavy apps. There's not much bloat on the phone. You have a few apps which you can disable, but they cannot be uninstalled. Now talking about performance, in general, yes, sometimes the phone does tend to lag in the UI, but in gaming, the phone does actually perform a lot better. I tried playing several games including Asphalt 8, Dead Trigger, Riptide GP2, Modern Combat and the likes, and the phone performed decently well. Yes, at times there are a few lags, the gameplay is a bit inconsistent, but overall with some of the basic games and some of the heavier games as well, this one won't have any issues, and moreover, it doesn't get hot at all. But the best thing about this phone, that whole package, including that lower resolution display, the MediaTek 6750 octa-core processor, 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of storage, all culminates into great battery life on this device. With a 4850 mAh battery, this phone easily lasts more than 2 days with even heavy use. So that is actually the main feature of this smartphone. The cameras not so much, but the battery life really is great here. Whenever you compare performance and battery life, you have to choose one of these two, and this phone focuses more on battery life. Now if we talk about charging time, this phone takes about 4 to 4.5 hours to charge that battery from 0 to full 100%. Yes, there's no fast charging here. But after that, you can easily go through 2 days without worrying about battery at all. So where does this leave us? Priced at ₹8,999, the InFocus Turbo 5 Plus focuses more on battery life than performance or cameras. So who is this phone really for? If you are on the go all day long, you need 4G VoLTE connectivity and you don't have access to a charger well throughout the day, this phone should work out quite well for you. If you want a phone with brilliant performance and great cameras, well, this price segment won't fit that bill. Well folks, that's it for this video. If you have any questions, let us in the comments section, and as always, have a great day.